So we're back here in our fourth year. With myself, Conor O'Loughlin, Sinead Mulqueen and Karen McMahon are taking the reins, and we're delighted. We have a lot of new students, but again, it's great to see students who've stuck with us from the first year, which is brilliant, so delighted to be back.
We have started 3 years ago, so it's been a lot of different years. In between all that, we'd COVID, so we've had a mix of online, face-to-face, and this year we're doing a blended learning. So it's been 3 very, very different years.
It's just been wonderful to see how this particular ensemble has grown, and it's particularly unique within the context of so much music that's happening in Music Generation, this national music education programme that's now giving access to over 100,000 children and young people throughout Ireland. It's wonderful to see that there are so many young musicians from around the country that are part of this ensemble and who want to be part of this really innovative and premier ensemble that gives them an opportunity to take their musical experience to another level and engage working with professional musicians with whom they would never have had the opportunity to do so otherwise.
There's so many new people and they come from places like Cork and Kerry and Limerick and Clare.
I went to the Concertina over the years and they were playing their concerts there, and then teacher was telling me about it, and my mum signed me up for it and I had to do an audition. So I did an audition and I got in.
We've one girl definitely coming from Longford, and we've a fella coming from Wicklow, some from Cork, some from Kerry, Limerick, and obviously your one's based in Clare as well, but there's some of them travelling crazy distances, so it just shows the commitment and the love they have for the project.
At the start, everyone was quiet. It was silent going in, but everyone just warmed up to each other afterwards. So yeah, it was easy after a while, because everyone is the same, everyone plays the same thing.
So started in September when they told us we got through, and then there was like practice, and then it's like once or twice a month, and then we'd have like online sessions and stuff. So then we'd do loads of practice ourselves, and then they'd give us like recordings and stuff, so we'd practice to those. And then at the end, we've been coming up and down for the last 4 weeks straight now for the last run of it.
I think some of the pieces now in particular are a lot faster and like more complicated than others, but we've spent enough time on them, so they should be all right.
The tutors are so nice. It's easy to come in, it's like the first week you're nervous, but after that I was fine.
My favourite part this year was the composing for Definite, because I like composing my own tunes at home.
This year the kids composed a piece themselves, but they also had the help of Cormac McCarthy. So Cormac this year was the first year he travelled to Ennis to work with the children in the capacity of a composer, where he showed them the basic skills that he uses in composition for melody.
Well, I think the plan was, Pádraig just said to me, come up, talk to them a bit about composition process and try and encourage them to write something. The worst thing you can do is just like stroke your chin for an hour or two and kind of trying to think sort of something magical or profound. And 1 or 2 of the kids just played a couple of random notes, and I said, okay, let's just jump with that. We wrote them down, and then once, as I said, once the ball's rolling, it becomes quite straightforward to just keep it rolling, really. Natural.
He said, right, where do you want to start? So first I think we went for the name of the tune first, and then he just said, put up your hand if you have any ideas to start. So we started a bit random, and that's how it came together.
Do you want to just place a few random notes? Okay, so let's just say we take that as the beginning of our tune, okay? Okay, so it's just D, E, F, G.
Cormac would just pick on one person and then they would just like play a bar, and then we just add it in and we'd all kind of just all add the bars together then.
And Mulqueen is the first one. I named it. And the second one is called The Cat in the Kennel.
I named The Cat in the Kennel because my dog got a kennel and the cat went in there instead.
We did it as a group, so everyone had what they thought put into it, and it was nice the way we did it. It wasn't just one person who took over.
He was asking us whatever comes to our head straight away we can put into the tune.
But I mean, the first tune, I don't know what type of tune that is, and it's kind of got a regular bar length, but it still seems to work somehow, because they just kind of played it with that rhythm, which is really interesting as well, because I think if you were like a trained adult musician, you'd be less inclined to do that. Or if you were, it would have to be a very conscious decision, whereas kids can just come up with something really interesting on the spot, because they're not kind of bound by the same structures and restrictions that we've built up over years of playing and listening. There's something lovely about just making something new as well, and there's a different sort of feeling that you get from doing that. And it draws upon the technical aspects that you would have worked on in class, let's say, when you're learning existing repertoire and you're trying to master that. The tutors here have these guys so well drilled technically, and in terms of getting around the instrument, they have very little limitations, if any. But then to actually just kind of feel the freedom of, I can actually play whatever notes I want and see what comes out. It's kind of liberating. You get to access a whole different part of music that's not predefined. And I think that's really important and really rewarding.
They have that memory forever of where that came from. That, you know, working with Cormac, this is their piece of music, this is what they take away from the evening. Yeah, the concept this year was that we had to go equally as high calibre as we had in the past. So previously we had great acts like Michael McGoldrick, Sodo Mo, and Tim Collins has been there composing and arranging. And we thought, where could we go this year that would be really amazing, that would keep the kids really interested, and we wanted to go really high profile. So we came up with the idea to ask Bill Whelan.
Well, I've had a number of years of experience through Music Generation, which I served on the board of Music Generation for 10 years. And that got me really around the country listening to young players in a way that I never expected.
I suggested that he could compose music possibly for 40 concertina players. We came to the conclusion that, yeah, it would be a great idea to write a suite of music for Concertina Orchestra, and we were so delighted that Bill took that on, and he did an amazing job.
So Pádraig explained to me that I would have first of all the orchestra of all those concertinas, and then notify his own ensemble, which plays a very interesting range of rather complex music. And then on top of that, another orchestra, a string orchestra and brass, like a full range of orchestral musicians. So it was, suddenly this project looked like a really interesting, if daunting, challenge. So I thought, well, Clare, and I'm from Limerick, know Clare pretty well. And then I thought about the West Clare and the West Clare Railway. So I made it about a journey aboard the West Clare, and hence the title. So it's about that, the different moods of a journey. It linked Ennis and Clare and Kilkee and all those places. So that became the subject matter. The piece starts with the musicians using the bellows of their concertinas to create a sound that's like a train.
I'm excited, it'll be good. It's sounding good out there anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to play with Bill. I mean, obviously we know him from Riverdance. He would have had a long association with the Irish Chamber Orchestra who I work with. So we've seen him from time to time. Always a pleasure to play his fantastic music, beautifully composed. And Bill's presence obviously adds something special to this event. And it's just great that he takes such an interest in his own community, his own country, and has, you know, honoured us with this piece.
And I was really amazed at the standard of playing with the young musicians. They really went for it, and you could see that they had a confidence, which obviously is a big as a compliment to their tutors, but also to their own commitments to it. And this is one of the things that I've seen in my longish career, is how young musicians are now playing trad music, and not alone just playing trad music, but starting off with trad music, but also not being afraid to move beyond and find new ways of expression. And that's what I think is the real hope. If the young people are encouraged to take the tradition, understand the importance of it, and at the same time develop their playing in a way that opens out into the world. And I think that's what's happening in Ireland, and it's very gratifying to see.
So we're delighted to have also Notify, Pádraig Rynne, who's kind of our director of the orchestra, band he plays in. So we're going to have Notify, which is a band that crosses Irish music with jazz and other influences, playing with our Concertina Orchestra as well. So we're going to play some sets from that band's catalogue. So they have drums, electric guitar, bass, a real kind of modern twist on Irish music.
Pádraig Rynne set it up over 10 years ago, and now the latest iteration is Pádraig Rynne, obviously, teir on fiddle, Adam Taylor on bass, Cormac McCarthy on keys, Hugh Dillon on guitar and drums.
I was really honoured to be invited along to play with the Concertina Orchestra and with Notify, and the great Bill Whelan as well, who composed the piece for tonight. For me, actually, it was a challenge because I hadn't done a lot of the music. In fact, I hadn't done any of the music. It was all pretty much new compositions. So it was a challenge for me, but it was like I felt I really want to do it. And I was actually really honoured, because all of the people that are up on the stage, bar none, are really, really great musicians. So yeah, honoured to be asked.
We recorded an album last year, and myself and Pádraig produced it. So the compositions that we're playing today are all from that album. I think they sound great. They're like unbelievable players. They're amazing. Like, I was shocked the first day we rehearsed with them in Ennis. They knew the tunes better than we did, like our own tunes, like genuinely. Like, we would play a tune and be like, do you want to do that again? Like, do you want to rehearse it again? They'd be like, no, grand, just power on.
I think it's amazing what they're doing here and challenging the children. In fact, I brought my own children up one time just to see what was happening here, just to kind of inspire them maybe into playing some more Irish music. And this project that we're doing today in particular, I think, is very challenging, but in a really positive way. I couldn't believe it last week when we came up for rehearsal in Limerick, that all these kids were playing this pretty complex music, you know. And it just goes to show that, you know, if you set kids a challenge, or even myself, actually, a lot of the music was a challenge. You know, it's good, it gets the brain cells going, and certainly amazing to hear all those kids just, you know, pulling it off so well.
A really good crack, and you get loads of friends out of it. I think the orchestra improves my playing every year as well.
Well, I think it's very good. Like, it gives musicians a chance to meet other musicians from around the country. Like, and I think that it's very inclusive in the practices and everything.
I was so bad at sight reading at the start, but you have to do it to learn the pieces. So that's what I definitely improved on anyway.
Yeah, it's good getting to know other people from other counties around Ireland.
I think it's like anything, if it's football or any type of sport or music or anything that kind of brings kids together and they have a shared interest or a shared goal maybe. I feel like that they support each other, and then, you know, they don't have to necessarily stand out. So it's like a team, I suppose. And yeah, I think they probably spur each other on as well. And I think certainly at that age, it's such a kind of a pivotal age where if you can play the music and keep it going, that's when it's going to continue on going, and then you're there, you're off, you know. It's really team building, and it's really confidence building, and yeah, great project.
Well, it's been really wonderful to see how the Irish Concertina Orchestra has grown and blossomed over the last 4 years. And it's a really exciting and innovative ensemble that's pushing new boundaries and new musical possibilities for children and young people in the way that they're engaging with professional, performing and creative musicians, engaging in new contemporary music, and while still preserving that wonderful, beautiful sound of the concertina and being true to the tradition.
So this year Notify came in on a mentorship programme, and the plan is that it'll be a 3-year mentorship programme. So each year we want to bring in a different collaborator. This year we had Bill. I'm hoping Cormac will come back. He's been with us every year since the first year, and we're not going to let it out of the can where we're going to go next year, but it will be really exciting.
It was a great experience. It's great to say that I'm in it as well. It's put on a CV or something, like it's good.
I just think that it's a very good organisation, and I think that I would definitely recommend for people to get involved in it next year.
I suppose it was great now with Bill in the audience, he'd inspire you when he was there and you're playing his piece and stuff, and then playing a Notify and everything. The atmosphere is unreal,
I think it's a fantastic performance by everybody involved. We were delighted, of course, to have the services of Bill Whelan, and it was a great honour to have him compose a piece for it. But I think the musicians themselves spoke for themselves in the music that they played. They did a fantastic job.
It was just amazing. I mean, to see those young people, and what an opportunity to get to sit on stage and play with an orchestra, and Cormac McCarthy conducting you, and the composer of Bill Whelan sitting in the front row of the theatre. What a wonderful, wonderful experience for everybody.
It's absolutely fantastic, brilliant. I was blown away. I'm a very proud uncle today. I am, I have to say, I really am. I think she's really learned a lot from this 6 months. I've seen her blossom under the tutelage of everyone here. It's been amazing to see, and I know she's enjoyed every minute of it.
We're from Cork, and we carpooled every couple of weeks coming up. They found the experience absolutely fantastic. As musicians they develop, but as individuals as well. The tutors every week, just the work they did with them was fantastic. Pádraig is a hero of my daughter. They talk about Taylor Swift's and Beyonce's and whatever, but Pádraig would be my daughter's hero.
It was just incredible. The tutors were unreal, and the people who we got to work with were just amazing, really. they're my idols, like, so. It definitely improved my playing because all the tunes are like very hard to play, and yeah, I practiced them a lot. Yeah, there's a really good atmosphere, and it was nice to come together, you know, and play, because that's what we all do, so.